Kelly, and today I'm here with Kate Douglas. Thank you for being here with us. How are you enjoying Authors After Dark?
I'm having a ball. This is my first Authors After Dark, and Stella's been after me for a long time because I think she read Wolf Tales, and she's been after me to come. And it's just expensive. When we go to conferences, the cost starts to add up, and it's expensive in time because you want to be home writing your books, you don't want to be going anywhere, and now I'm really glad I'm here. I'm sorry I haven't been coming before. I've never been to a conference where you had so much interaction with the readers, and I can't believe the number of people I've met that I know you. I've never met you, but I know you. I see you on Facebook. It's really fun. I'm enjoying that. Yeah.
I love how it's small and you get to.
Well, and the funny thing is, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but I'll meet people and I'll think, now, have I met them at another conference? I've never met them in person in my life, but I feel like I know them, as long as they use their own picture. A lot of people on Facebook, because they use something else. But the ones that crack me up are when you see a really sexy guy, and then I find out it's a woman that I'm running to. I'm not flirting with a good-looking guy. It's some gal who's found a model picture on a book that she really likes, and so she's the same. But it's yeah.
That's funny. What events are you excited about?
I'm looking forward to the Vampire Ball because I am just a huge fan of Joey Hills, and in fact we met for breakfast this morning. And I've known Joey since before we were published anywhere. We both started out as ebook writers, and that was back in the late 90s. And I still have one of her, I think it was one of her first books. It was called Guardian of the Continuum. And it was just this amazing story. I haven't read it now for years, but I kept it. I've got I think it's a document form or whatever, it's on my hard drive, because I thought this woman is going to be so famous because she writes so beautifully, and so that's been my big fangirl moment. I get to meet Joey, so I'm going to Vampire Ball. I don't do costumes because I like to travel with carry-on, and it's hard to do costumes when you're trying to take clothes to be a grown-up during the day. And if I don't, every time I check luggage, it's not gotten where I'm going, so I tend to shy away from that. So I brought a cake just in honor of Joey. She's my only costume tonight.
Oh, okay.
That's tomorrow. Tonight or tomorrow? It's tonight.
Vampire?
Tomorrow's the Elementals.
Okay, yes.
And I didn't do a costume for that.
Okay. Oh, well.
I'll do my best.
Now, I know your last release was Dark Wolf from the Spirit Wild series, and you have an upcoming release.
I do, and I have the cover, and it's brand new.
I love it.
Can you get it?
What can you tell us about it?
Well, this series, Spirit Wild series, is a spin-off from the Wolf Tales series. I love the Shanku world, and I'm going to carry my little ties around me all the time. I love the Shanku world, and I went into a horrible depression when I wrote Wolf Tales 12. Luckily, my publisher was great. And they said, they gave me more than a year's notice that the series would be ending. Sales had dropped off, which happens with all series. There's like a reader fatigue with a lot of it. But the series was ending, and I had time, and I was also allowed to write it, and she said, as long as you want. Which, I've never had an editor say that before. And so the book is actually like 120,000 words long, and the others are around 90. But it gave me the room to finish it out the way. And when I started the book, I don't plot. And so I sat down, and the only visual I had was of Anton Cheval standing in the burned-out ruins of his home in Montana. I had no idea how he was going to get there, and no idea what was going to happen afterwards. But that was where I wrote, was up to and beyond that scene. And when I was done, I had more babies. And I thought, I've got to write children, but I have to write them as adults. So that would have, since that first series, Wolf Tales, is essentially contemporary, taking place in real time, and it actually only covers a matter of a couple of years because I wrote it very tight. Is the Spirit Wild series actually takes place in the near future? So I'm figuring like 2039 or something like that with the time frame. But it's not so far in advance that everything is different. So it's essentially a contemporary. It's just written, with the knowledge that these are grown children, and they're living in a world that knows the Shanku exist. So that was my whole new dynamic, because so much of the first series had to do with the fact that they had people after them. Well, now it's in a situation where people know they exist, and they also know that they have this unlimited lifespan, and now there's anger, there's jealousy. And of course, because they live longer, they can collect more wealth, and so they're all doing well. They have successful businesses, and it was so much fun to write a series with the same world, but a changed world. And the same world rules essentially, but a changed world. And Dark Wolf was my first. That was the Alicia Ball story, and she's just was a strong character as a child. So to write her as an adult was, oh God, she's this wonderful, powerful woman, and she's so self-assured, but she's never found love. And there aren't a lot of Shanku. There's not a lot of them out there. And she meets a man who's very conflicted and has a lot of issues to work through. In fact, I have a lot of negative reviews from readers who said, "Oh, he's not an alpha hero. He's a beta." Well, he is in the beginning because he's very conflicted, and throughout the story, he grows. And I have my own personal philosophy that until you really can love yourself, you can't love someone else because you don't feel worthy of love. And that's kind of his story. He is very conflicted, and he has to find himself. And a lot of it is beyond his love for Lily and her love for him is Anton, who accepts him as he is, who makes him aware that he is a worthy and powerful person in his own right. And so I wrote that one, and then I thought, well, who am I going to do next? Because they're characters that my readers really they write to me, well, what's going to happen to so and so? And one of the favorite characters that I had in the whole series was Igmutaka, he's a spirit guide who had lived for centuries, for thousands and thousands of years as a spirit guide, first to Aboriginal peoples, and then he's come up, never taking form, never taking physical shape. He vaguely recalls being born as a puma cub, so he wasn't even human to begin with, but he was selected as a spirit guide. So that's his background. And in Wolf Tales 12, he becomes the first lover of a young woman who has spent her life in a wheelchair. And she was essentially a Shanku who, as a child, was badly abused, attempted to shift because it was out of fear and got caught. So she's horribly twisted and crippled. And it's similar to the case of another character in the series. So it was not an unexpected type of thing for readers, to have to watch her change and her metamorphosis, because when she's finally able to shift, she comes out of it whole. And so she's a damaged character. And then there's Igmutaka, who just takes her under his wing. He makes love to her. He loves her. They both know that they are meant for someone else. And so this love affair, when the new book, when Dark Moon opens, this love affair has been going on for years, for 25 years or more. And Igmutaka has always said, I love you, but I know that I am meant for Michaela Starr, who is the child of Mick Fuentes, another character, and his maid Tala. And so Igmutaka knows that that's his. He was there when she was born. He caught her as she emerged from the womb, and he had this huge revelation that I have to wait for you. You're mine. And so that with that background, though, he and Sunny have stayed lovers all of these years, and she says he's the perfect lover. He's just not perfect for me. I know this, but who is? And there's no one else who's going to love me. And so he's telling her, I'm going to have to leave you, but don't worry, your man's coming. He's close. And of course, that's what he leaves her with, and she has no idea. So when I wrote Dark Moon, I didn't have any idea either. I sat down, I started writing this, I said, well, Iggy, how can you do this to her? And then I didn't know who the hero was going to be. And the more I wrote, the more I discovered that he was there kind of not all along, but he's not really the same kind of Shanku as the others. And I don't want to do any spoilers when I'm talking about it, but his name is Fenris, and he's not even a Native American. He's not from America. He's Scandinavian. I'm trying to think now. I think he's Finnish. I stop and remember. I wrote the book over a year ago, and so it's not coming out until February. It's for some reason they pushed the release off, but. He was really fun to write. I loved it because this was a guy who didn't know he was a shapeshifter, and then he shifts and he kills 3 men. And he's not a killer. He's a game warden, and he doesn't understand. Why am I doing this? What's happening? Well, You know, he's obviously been out of the loop on the Shankou thing, you know, and he doesn't know that they, you know, he knows they exist, but he knows that he's not them, he's not like them, but he is in a way. So that's kind of where that story's going, and boy, I tend to ramble when I'm talking about my books, but, you know, they are so much a part of my life, you know, and I'm really thrilled that I'm so excited that self-publishing is an option now, because I don't know if my publisher wants more of these books. I hope they do. If they don't, I'll be able to continue the series, because I like them too much to quit. You know?
Oh, no, that was great.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going with that. But yeah, I can't wait till it comes out. It's I've got a first chapter up on my website, and it's at katedouglas.com. So if anybody's curious about that or the first book in the new series, they're both there.
That sounds beautiful.
Oh, it'll be
Can't wait to
fun.
read it.
It'll be fun.
Well, thank you so much for being with us
Well,
today.
thank you for the invite. I appreciate it. And this is a really unique conference. I mean, it's definitely a conference for readers, and I'm a reader. I mean, I'm a hardcore reader, and so it's really neat to be able to come to something and see authors that I enjoy reading, and to meet other authors, and also to have all of these readers that, you know, you develop a really, really close relationship with the readers, and I think that's probably the second best part, because I think the relationship that we have with the characters is such an amazing thing, and I never believed it would actually be like that until I started writing fiction. I had always written nonfiction, and when I sat down and started writing romance, I thought, oh, I would like this. You know?
We're glad you do.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
very
So where
much.
else can readers find you?
I am on at all of the book retailers. Obviously, I have my author page at Amazon.com. I have KateDouglas.com. I'm at Facebook at Kate Douglas. I'm KateDouglas.author page. I think my personal page, my Kate Douglas author page, is full, so I do the same stuff at both pages. And my Kate Douglas, KateDouglas.author page.
Well, thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you.